Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Um, I've got my sweater on today. Yeah, it's cold. I told my husband the temperatures are dropping and it's becoming fall, and I told him he needs to get that chimney cleaned because I'm ready to put a fire in the wood stove. And he was laughing at me that I might be a little premature on that because I'm sure I'll have this sweater off here probably in less than an hour because the sun is kind of warming things up now. And I always look that way because that's where my little window is that I can see outside what's going on and see a glimpse of the sky to see what's coming. But anyway, uh, yeah, I love the wood stove. There's nothing I enjoy more. I think I love all the seasons and all the different things that happen, but I really love, I have this recliner that gives the best naps that's in the wood stove room. And so I love when my husband builds a nice toasty fire, or I can build it myself. I do it too. And by the time winter comes, I mean, that thing's going 24/7. I cook on it, and yeah, we're pretty old school around here, old school, but we love it. So anyway, today this sweater, people always comment on it. They love it because it's the bright purple. My mom's best friend gave it to her, and then when she passed away, her best friend was a really good friend of mine too, and so yeah, so I kept Shirley's sweater, and and it comforts me when I'm a little chilly. I kind of feel like I'm getting a hug from my mom and from my Mama Shirley. So I have two Mama Shirleys, so sometimes, yeah, I'm talking about one when maybe it's the other. But anyhow, this sweater comes from two great women, and so it makes me feel a little better. Today, I was thinking about something. The card I pulled out of my treasure box this morning, the scripture I had on it after I had my Bible study time and my prayer time. Then I always pull a card or two out of my treasure box, and this one today, I could really feel it when I read it. It's Psalm 108:1, and it says, "My heart is confident in you, O God. No wonder I can sing your praises with all my heart." And it made me think of this thing that just happened not too long ago. But you know, when God really moves in some big way and rescues you, it is so easy to be like, yes, this is awesome. God came through. I mean, I knew it. What was I ever worried about? And it's so easy to be excited, and I do end up singing songs. I'll make up songs about whatever happened. My husband does it too, so we get along great. We're at that age when we'll be remembering songs from like when we were teenagers, and we can't remember, but maybe the first line or two, if even that. Maybe only the first three words. So we just make up the rest. And it gets pretty entertaining around here sometimes. It's probably good nobody else is around. But we had this situation here a few weeks ago where, see, my husband, well, first I was forced into retirement before I was ready to retire. Then my husband was forced into retirement several years before we were planning for him to retire. And we took some hits with some things. So we had some larger expenses come up with caring for my parents and all, and so that ate up some of that retirement money that we hadn't intended for it to eat up. Plus, we retired early, so we ended up having to take out of that. We filed for Social Security earlier than we had intended, so our Social Security checks would be a little smaller. I know in the long run you end up with more money, but still, each month that check is only so big. And so just getting through things can be challenging. And then, inflation started happening and keeps happening. And so just to even be able to afford, most of our utilities are off grid, but we do have electric that we're tied into the grid, and we have to pay that, and it keeps going up. The price keeps going up, and so we keep pulling plugs out of the wall, unplugging things, learning to live without different things that we had. We don't have as many electric things. And like we went to the thrift store the other day, and I'm always looking for things that will do the job I need done and not take electricity. So if people try to give me things that take electricity, I'm always like, yeah, thank you, but no, thank you. We're trying to avoid electricity. So anyway, the thing is, we ain't got a whole lot of money, right? But we do okay. And my husband, he had a kind of a little side job that he did when he was working. And so, he was near retirement age when they shut the place down where he was working. And so trying to get another job, I mean, they can't tell you it's because of your age, but they were just like, yeah, they'd have, a sign up, we're hiring or whatever. And he'd go in and they're like, yeah, we just don't really have anything right now. And I understand you don't want to invest in somebody that's only going to be there for maybe 1 or 2 years, and then they're going to retire or whatever. So just trying to find another job wasn't going so good. And so then we're like, you know what, why don't we just pour in, both of us, into your business, and let's get this thing going. So I handle all the office stuff, and which is good because that's not his thing. And so I do all the paperwork and the little tax things that we've got to file and all of that. I take care of all of that, and all his invoices, and I kind of enjoy doing it. So it works out. And then he goes out and does the hard labor, and sometimes I have to go help him do that too. But anyway, his business is very important because what little retirement and little Social Security we have doesn't quite meet just the basic needs. And it sure doesn't take care of anything if there's something big and unexpected that happens. So his business fills in that place. So it's very important for him to be able to keep working. Well, we hit this time where all of a sudden, all the equipment broke down. We have 2 trucks that can pull the trailers and carry equipment for him, and both trucks were down. He had no way. Well, then, maybe he could use one of the tractors because we have 2 tractors too. And, maybe one of them, he could pull because he needed to pull a trailer with some mowers on it to go do some mowing. But you know what? Both tractors went down. And so now he's calling clients saying, I can't get to your job quite yet. I've got, Anyway, we were trying to figure out what everything was that was breaking down, what was going on. And it was looking like it was going to cost us thousands of dollars. There were some things that were beyond his knowledge. I mean, he is a pretty good mechanic, and there's a lot of things that he can do. But there's some things that are, well, even if he knows how to do it, we don't have the equipment to do it because there's special tools and all that, and that's expensive. So we got to some points where it looked like he wasn't going to be able to do it. And so just to get one truck running would be a couple $1,000s. Didn't have it. What do we do? And so I remember, it was, because it wasn't that long ago, it was a really awful feeling for both of us. And we were just really struggling with that. And so we're like, oh, okay, you know what? We're going to pray. We're going to trust God because he takes care of us. And, and he's our source. And we, gave ourselves our pep talks and tried to remind ourselves. And so we turned to the Lord. And I'll tell you what, God began to show my husband some things, and YouTube videos. We had a couple things that we were trying to troubleshoot. We couldn't figure out what the problem was, and he was able to find on YouTube videos and narrow it down to figure out what the problem was. Then he didn't have the tools, but there were 2 different mechanics that were just really very kind and gracious and lent him the tools, and he was able to solve the problem and fixed. So the truck was fixed. And then there was the issue with the tractors because some of the work, requires tractors to do the work. And he had jobs waiting that need the tractors. And then that came together to where it didn't end up being as the parts we had to get. It was stuff he could do, but we had to get the parts. and it wasn't that bad. We actually were able to take some of the money he got from mowing when he could get a mower to somebody's house to buy the parts with it. Anyway, it all worked out, and with what felt like we maybe were going to go under, in just a matter of a few days, it was all set. And I remember feeling this, that, oh, my heart is so confident in you, God. No wonder I can sing your praises, because it's all good now. And I was just dancing around and singing and rejoicing, and my husband was in a much better mood, and everything was, now it was all good, right? But here's the thing that I'm thinking about this morning, because, in my videos, you know that I've got some people close to me that are going through some hard things, some very, very hard things. And ever so often there's a hard thing that comes up in my life. I want this to be true even in the hard times. I don't want to go to that place that I went when all the equipment went down, and it's like, oh no, now what are we going to do? To where that panic starts to set in and that despair starts to set in. Why wasn't my first thought, it's okay, God's got it, he takes care of us, and and if we go under business wise, he'll still provide for us, we'll have what we need. Why, after all the things I've been through in my life, why does my heart still want to sink when those hard times come? When somebody says, I'm mad with you because this, that, and you're like going, but I didn't. Well, I think you did. And, and yeah, I don't want to be so shaken. Whether things are good, whether things are hard, whether things are going really, really well, or whether they're crashing around my ears, I want to say and have it be true that my heart is confident in you, oh God. No wonder, even in the midst of the storm, I can sing your praises with all my heart. Just a little Angie thought today. Something I want to be better in my life. Okay, now I got a couple things I want to say at the end, because I am really enjoying, I've been getting some feedback on the videos, and some of these videos have actually ministered to some people. And oh, that makes me happy. Some just make people laugh. They have a good laugh. Hey, that's awesome. But I know that Gail said that she takes her son to school in the morning, comes home, gets a cup of coffee, and sits down and watches my video for the day. And so I want to say hello to Gail, and thank you, Gail, so much for that. And it's fun knowing you're there. And I also know that I want to say good night to Paige, because my granddaughter Paige watches my videos before she goes to sleep at night. And so I just want to kind of acknowledge those two people, and and I want to throw a third one in too, which is one of my spiritual brothers, Markai, because he has just been so good at encouraging me, leaving comments and thumbs up, and just, yeah, one of those little cheerleaders on the sideline that just has made me feel like, yeah, I can do it. Because you guys, this is intimidating. When I first ever felt like I wanted to start doing this, it was like, well, I've got to have all the right equipment. I don't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't have the slightest idea how to put a video up. And so my other, my little brother, my spiritual little brother, Keith, he's a pro at all this. I mean, this is what he does. And so, he was really trying to help me and teach me. And so I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to save up the money to get the equipment. And I was just really having a struggle. But I'll tell you, there was a lot of fear in me, because I know there's people that watch and just look for things to criticize and want to be mean. And I don't know, I've been through a lot of stuff in life, and I'm just, I'm tired of being beat up by people, quite honestly. And so there was fear of that, and fear of looking stupid, and and I don't wear makeup anymore. So I'd even told Keith, I've got to go get some makeup. I got to put makeup on so I look present. And then one morning, God woke me up, because this was going on for months, maybe even a couple years. I don't know. I've lost track of time. But I wasn't getting anything done on this. I wasn't doing anything. And so through some other circumstances of some stories that people were telling me of, or that I heard through other people of how God had moved on them to just go do it. Just step out in faith and do it. Get out of the boat and start walking on the water and just trust Jesus to take care of you. And so God woke me up the morning that the day that I put out my welcome video. You look at the date of that was first released. That morning, God woke me up and he said, look, Angie, just go get your phone and record the welcome video. And I'm like, but I don't have, it doesn't matter. Just be you. Just you're more comfortable in your own skin than you've ever been in your whole life. Who cares if you got makeup or not or what anybody else thinks? Is that why you're doing it? No. Just be you. Just be raw. Yeah, you don't know how to edit a video yet. Who cares? Some mistakes will be in there and step on your words. That's you. You're real. So just be real. Go do the video. So I'm like, okay, can I at least get dressed and comb my hair? And I sat down and I think I did that in one take. It might have been 2 takes, but I did that video. And then I thought, okay, I'm sure there's a million things wrong with it. But he said, post it. But I don't know how to post it. And I'm telling you, God told me, don't worry. I'll show you. And so I noticed that where you can share when you do because I'll do little videos for my grandkids for their birthday to wish them a happy birthday, right? And then I just share it to either, my kids' text or to their email, and then my grandkids can see it. And so I was like, I noticed there was a YouTube button to share it to YouTube. But I was so afraid, and you guys will learn that I have been controlled by fear a lot in my life, and that has been a big hurdle that God's been working on with me. But I went ahead and just, well, what do you got to lose? It's just the welcome video. Hit that button. So I hit it. And then it was asking me for a title and description. And I went through and I filled all the stuff out, and it wasn't that hard. And then it was like, upload, hit the upload button, ready to do it. So I did. And doggone it, I had a video on YouTube. So I saw where I could copy the link, and I sent it to a bunch of my friends to see if they'd even go check it out. And, what was it last night, I think, before I went to bed? Because I usually film these a few days in advance. You don't see them usually. Sometimes you do on the day I film it, but it's usually on a different day. But so last night, when I looked, I had 16 subscribers. Oh my, and that just thrills my heart that there's 16 people that have actually subscribed. My video, I think it got like over 50 views in just a few hours. That's really mind-boggling. And when I look at, because I'm learning how to kind of navigate it a little bit, and that I can see people in all these other countries that are watching my videos now too. Because we've added a few countries to it. And I'm like, why? This is amazing. And then when you get feedback from somebody going, you know what, that video that you put up today, that's exactly what's going on in my life. That really ministered to me. Or, you know what, I can relate to what you said. Thank you. It makes me not feel like such a weirdo or whatever. However God wants to use these videos, it just thrills me. So I appreciate all of you. And there will probably be times when I'll be giving little shout outs to different ones. People I don't even know leave me comments and say things to me. And I have no idea who these people are, but what a blessing. What a blessing. So yeah, sometimes you just have to push past that fear and just go for it, right? I was just telling a friend of mine that this morning that was talking about doing some stuff. And it's like, you know what? Somebody else that I don't know told somebody else that I do know that they wanted to do a YouTube channel and felt called of God to do it. And that they just couldn't, get going, and they kept putting it off. And one day they just took their phone and crawled into their closet and started filming videos and posting them. And they said if they wouldn't have done that, they never would have got started. And when I heard that, I'm like, I knew. See, that's me. I need to just do it, but I still wasn't doing it. So eventually God just had to wake me up early in the morning and say, get up and go do this thing, girl. Don't be so worried about it. So through the good, through the bad, through all of it, my heart is confident in God. So no wonder I can sing his praises with all my heart, right? All right, you guys have an awesome day today. I love you, and I will talk to you later. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It makes an old woman real all giddy. And, you know, hit the like button because that is definitely encouraging to me. Leave comments. I read all the comments. I love getting comments. I love meeting new people. And if you've got a prayer request, definitely leave a prayer request for me and I will pray for you for a minimum of 40 days. If it's real personal and you don't want the whole world to see your prayer request, then you can on the about section of my page has my email. Sometimes I remember to put it in the description. And you can email me privately, whatever your prayer request is. And again, I promise I will pray for a minimum of 40 days. And I know that if he can fix a couple of tractors and mowers and trucks, in a few days, yeah, he can do whatever you need him to do too. So I love you guys. You have a great day. And definitely this time we're saying goodbye. Talk to you later.